Panic or preparedness? We live in South Florida. We know they're kind of the same thing, also kind of not the same thing. Are the Heat in panic or preparedness? Not sure yet. We'll find out Monday night. I do know one thing. Depression is set in. Oh, hi, I'm Dan Day. Happy Sunday Fun Day, by the way. My cousin, Vladimir Louison, working with me today. I'm depressed. I don't know. You spend 16 hours here, and the end of the day, you lose with 0.1 seconds left. You end up missing out on the NBA Finals with 0.1 seconds left. It's a little bit of a downer, man. It's a little bit of a downer. A lot of things we got to uncover.
I've never seen a fourth quarter like that in my life.
There's a lot.
It was like three storylines going in that fourth quarter.
There's a lot to break down.
That's a gut punch loss, man.
Yeah. First things first, I'm not even getting into the referees and the time and everything. We've agreed that whatever Secaucus decides. That's universal. You can't pick and choose and say, when it works for us, it's awesome. When it doesn't work for us, the whole world's against us. You know what? We all play by the same rules with the same officials. So let's let that go. What I do not want to do is blame any individual Heat player. I'm not going to name any names. There's a lot of blame being thrown around for not boxing someone out on that final play or for not getting in front of someone.
Leave Max Strus
alone. Whoa. Anybody on the team. Because if you've ever played sports at any organized level, these guys don't have the luxury of watching replays and reacting to replays and watching in slow-mo. They are playing the game at 1,000 miles an hour. And if you've ever played sports, I even watched it at regular speed. No one knew what was going on. Not the Celtics, not the Heat. The referees half the way didn't know what was going on. They had to review everything. So to say, oh, if I were playing, I'd have gotten in front of Derek White. No, you wouldn't have. Stop that. Even at watching it replay after replay after replay, there's nothing anyone could have done. And if you're someone that's sitting right now saying, I would have done that, you might not have played very much organized sports in your life and don't understand the speed of the game. There is no way at that point in the game, anyone, first of all.
Listen, Derek White just made a
play.
He made a good play because if you look at the play, he passed the ball. He went to the corner. I guess he was, maybe a fourth option if whoever was supposed to get the ball, he goes to the corner to shoot a three. And all he did was when Smart took the shot, just went to crash the boards, and the ball, literally, the angle of the missed shot went right to him.
Perfect rebound. That's it.
Guys, sometimes
there's nothing you can do about that.
Really nothing you can do about that. I thought Spo was great in the post game when he said that. He's like, you can't blame Strus for no. He did everybody. By the way, what he was supposed to do.
Derek White wasn't the only guy that was right at the basket that could have put it in. There was also Jason Tatum that was there.
And Tatum was flying in from.
But what you're saying is, oh, you should have boxed out. It's fundamental basketball. Get out of here with that. If you want to blame anybody, blame the gods. Okay, it was fate. It was destiny. The shot fell off at a perfect angle instead of bricking or flying off anywhere. If you've ever played organized sports, not just basketball, this game goes 1,000 miles an hour at all levels. And to say, oh, I could have done that. Well, hindsight ain't 20/20. So I'm not going to blame anybody for anything.
Man, let's really listen. If Miami Superstars played, Miami's in the NBA Finals right now. Let's cut to the chase. All right. Jimmy had a good fourth quarter, the last good 6 minutes. But if he did that from the beginning of the game, Miami's getting ready for Denver right now.
He was terrible. Let's be honest.
Bam
and Jimmy were terrible for 3 quarters.
They didn't show up.
Fourth quarter. I warned you yesterday. I said it's about one person and one person only. Watch Bam Adebayo. What did he do yesterday? I'm getting mad because he had 11 points and 13 rebounds. Double, 46 minutes. Oh, but he played great on the defensive end. You know what? When you're a max player and you're a superstar, or you want to be a superstar or an all-star in this league, in an elimination game, you do more than 11 points. Simple as that. Is that too much to ask?
No, you're not. No,
that's not too much to ask. Now, Jimmy, you can say what you want. He was pretty bad. But when it counted, he came through. And the Celtics, they did their best to try to blow the game. Now,
that's why this game was this series is
Celtics. Some of their moves in the end. Up by 10 with 4.5 minutes left. Jimmy Menthols and I are in there. Jimmy's like, I'm working Monday. I said, Jimmy, calm down. Don't get too caught up. There still could be a run left in him.
Yeah,
And there was a run. There was a run to the point where Bam Adebayo gets fouled by Al Horford with, depending on who you want to ask. Once again, we're not going to get into. I don't want to get into this because it's just going to make everybody mad. 3 seconds left. Jimmy Butler hits all 3 free throws. We say, okay, good. We're going to be okay.
I've never seen a fourth quarter like that in my life.
Dan.
Miami was down.
It was unbelievable.
Miami took the lead. They were up one, I think 83-82. And then Boston went on a run to take a 10-point lead with 5 minutes left, with 4 minutes left in the game. And then Miami goes on a run.
Once again, if you want to blame the refs, which is not Heat culture, by the way, to make excuses, if you want to blame somebody for not boxing someone out, how about you blame the team for being terrible for 3 quarters? Because that's what they were. They were not good for 3 quarters, even 3.5. So if you're sitting there and wanting to point blame at those 3 quarters that this team looked inept and looked like it was going to game 7 no matter what. That's what I want to say. Bam Adebayo, 11 and 13. Congratulations on your double-double. Good. By the way, you got outscored by Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, almost outscored by Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, and Jimmy Butler. You had 46 minutes on the court too, by the way. Only person that had more minutes was Jimmy Butler, 47. And now it was a snail's pace of a game, so give him a little time to rest. But I'm not ready to start throwing out blame for one guy or one play or one referee, because the game happens fast and what happens. 0.1 seconds away from the NBA Finals. Once again, Vlad, we've given Joe Mazzulla a lot of slack. Okay.
I still don't like his facial expression. He still looks like, because even his face was like, oh my God, we won.
Let's break it down.
One.
He did good, but at the same time, how good was it? Number one, he did challenge that foul on Jimmy Butler. Number one, that's a good challenge because it did put time back on the clock. They were going to review whether it was a 3 or 2 no matter what, with no coach's challenge. The coach's challenge allowed them to review the clock and not just the spot of the ball. Then again, there was only 3 seconds left, so he hadn't. It was either use it or lose it.
Well, he had 2 timeouts, so it was pretty much.
So it was pretty much. It's a no-brainer.
You don't want to go home. One of my.
But at least he wasn't stupid enough, Vlad, to not use it.
I hate this one thing. I hate if you have timeouts and you don't use it in a close game, you go home with it and you lose. I'll fire you.
So good use of using the timeout, even though it was a no-brainer, anybody would have called that. I mean, I was telling you, if a player wouldn't know how to box out, but yeah. Number 2, final play. Is that the best shot you could get? Marcus Smart?
That was a good shot. No.
I mean, it almost went in.
No.
But
great defense by the Heat, because they were trying to get the ball to Tatum or Brown.
They stopped Tatum.
They stopped Tatum. They made Tatum go way far. Like he was almost by half court. They couldn't pass the ball there. And Brown, it seemed to me Brown and Smart were both running to the ball, but the Heat did a good job of denying Brown. So Smart got the ball. Yeah. Smart took a tough fadeaway turnaround jumper. It almost went in, and because the ball almost went in, it rattled in. The angle led to a charging Derek Wright to the rim for a putback. It happens, guys.
I'm trying. No, what I'm trying to do right now is give Joe Mazzulla credit, and also not so much credit.
I don't know if I'm giving him credit. Okay, they had a 10-point lead, Dan, and they choked it again.
Okay, the use of the timeout was good. Then again, anybody would have called that timeout because you
I don't know. 2 seconds. I don't know. Mike Budenholzer would.
He's terrible. Drawing up the play. Maybe you could draw up a better play to get it to your stars. Wasn't that good? But you taught your players to crash the boards, and they crashed the boards and they came.
I'm not upset with that play. They had a play. They don't have another timeout, like you just said, because they used the timeout previously. So I'm not upset with the play. If Marcus Smart hits that shot, nobody's saying anything, right? We're like, oh my God, Marcus Smart hit a shot.
Right, but the ball rattled in. That's the best shot they could get.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, he got Jimmy Butler the ball with a couple seconds left. They were able to do that.
Dan,
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying.
Dan, don't do that.
No,
it's not about Joe
Mazzulla. It's not about that. No.
Get on your team. Get on the Heat.
No.
No. We're not doing that.
We are doing that.
It's not about Joe Mazzulla.
I'm giving him
credit about Joe Mazzulla. You can't say you got to give him credit or not. This is about the Heat. This is about Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler not showing up. This ain't have nothing to do with the Celtics. Celtics almost choked like they usually do. This is about the Heat. Now, the Heat are on the verge. They're 48 minutes away of being the first team in NBA history to lose a 3-0 series lead.
That's why I ask, is it preparedness or is it panic? I thought...
I need preparedness or panic. It's time to, hey, listen, it's not...
We're going to circle around to
knuckle up and buckle up, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? You got 48 minutes. Either you've had a chance, okay, fine. You know, you can't expect Jimmy to play like he did in the first 3 quarters again.
I mean,
you can't expect that.
He's been just Jimmy Butler the past 2 games, basically, until the fourth quarter. What I'm saying is this.
But you know what? I give you credit. It's on Bam. You've always said it. We've always said it, but you said that yesterday. It's on him.
Being generous, the best player for the Heat yesterday was Jimmy Butler. That's being generous.
No, best player is
he came
Caleb
through.
Martin.
Second best player on the team. Let's just say we're being generous to Jimmy Butler.
I'm not being why are we being generous for?
Because when it came crunch time, he did make big plays.
Bro, he needed those guys to get him to the No, Caleb Martin has been the best player in this series for the Heat. Stop with the generosity.
Gabe Vincent.
Second best player.
Duncan Robinson.
Third best player yesterday.
Where does Bam Adebayo fall?
He's not even the starting 5.
Oh, but he played great defense. I heard that all game long. I was like, what are you talking about? He played great defense. He's actually having a really good game. Oh, so Michael Jordan went out in game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals and scored 11 and had 13, and he played good defense. You'd say, well, he had a great game.
Oh, we're not comparing Bam.
No, Kobe Bryant went out and did that. What would you say?
Well, we're not comparing those guys to Bam.
I'm just saying.
Those are legends.
Somebody you're leaning on, someone you're relying on.
Second best player cannot show up. Listen,
what did the second best player on the Celtics do?
Brown had 25.
26, 10, and 3.
Okay. Their stars showed up.
Third best player, 21 and 4. Robert Williams, the third, who everyone knows.
Time Lord
had 10 and 7, right up there with Bam. So Bam and Time Lord are neck and neck. And Bam's at home.
Guys, this was
okay.
This was a tough loss for y'all.
Okay, you know me. I'm Mr. Positivity. I'm Mr. Sunshine. People say, well, how do you come back from a game like this? Okay, once again, for someone that's never played sports and doesn't know, armchair quarterback, you say, there's no way they're ever going to come back. That's not true. There's still a game 7, and there's still a chance to win, and there's still a chance to go. And Spo recently even said it, and I'm actually a believer of this. We have the clip, and we're going to play it now. That one game just doesn't always lead to the next.
One game doesn't lead to the next game. Based on all the experience that we've had, it doesn't matter in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you lose by whatever. We beat them by whatever in game 3. It just doesn't matter. It's about collectively preparing and putting together a great game.
I'm a firm believer in that. I don't know about you, Vlad. Do you think that this is just a devastating blow that has ended the Heat season, or is there hope in game 7? Because I feel as though each game is an individual game.
Yeah, every game is an individual game. I don't trust this. Listen, here's the funny thing, and we're going to talk about this. We're here till 5 p.m. Even with that loss, because of that team they're facing, because as talented as Boston is, there's something about them. They do stupid things. They turn the ball over. Miami's won in Boston many times. That's why I always kept on saying, in this rivalry, there is no home court advantage. These last 2 seasons, they've won, 3 games multiple games in the other person's home court?
Yeah.
So even with a game 7 and the way this series has been, I can see Miami winning the first, they won the first 3, lose the last 3, and still end up going to Boston and taking game 7.
Look, if you're saying that was a death blow last night and this season is over and the team can't rebound, they can't come back, I will point you in the direction of game 3 of this series when the Celtics got run off the court, quote unquote, quit. 1-2-3 Cancun. Their season is over. They're checked out. Oh, what have they done since then? They've won 3 games. So if you're thinking this is a death blow for the Miami Heat, look no further back than game 3 of this series when the Celtics had quote unquote quit and given up the season. We're ready for next year. They've won 3 in a row right now. And everybody says now they're going to win 4 in a row.
It's not, it's totally different.
But it's game to game. These are professional athletes.
I think this is the first, here's the reason.
At the high school AAU level, it's game to game.
But then, okay, yesterday was the first time the Heat actually faced some type of adversity during the playoffs. Boston has gone through this many times, many times during the playoffs. Yesterday was the first time as a Heat fan, if I think that you felt like, oh my God, if we don't win this, oh wow, we have obviously the possibility of going to Game 7. But the way you go into Game 7 is nasty. Like, hey, I could be the positive guy and say, hey, if you ask a Heat fan, remember, I'm not even a Heat fan. This is not my team. But if you ask a Heat guy, if you ask any Heat fan right before the playoffs started, you have a chance of a Game 7 at the Eastern Conference Finals on the road, they'll take it. But that's not telling them how they got there. The steps to get there is bad right now because you won 3 games and you've lost the last 3. Now it's 3-3 going to Boston, Game 7, Memorial Day, and Memorial Day in Boston. I've seen some bad games for the road teams on Memorial Day. Lakers had a nasty blowout. They called that the Memorial Day Massacre. It was nasty. And you don't want to be on that side of history, Dan.
No,
like, that's the other thing that this team has to face, because that's going to be talked about all throughout the next 36 hours.
Yeah.
Is that they could be the first team in NBA history.
Are you going to use it in motivation, or are you going to use it to spook you? We'll see.
We'll
you
see.
said it a while ago. The regular season doesn't count. This is where the regular season counts. The Heat have said it. We faced adversity all year. We faced 3 minutes away from being eliminated in a play-in game. We have had a ton of one-point games, single-digit games. We understand the pressure. This Game 7 is the reason why I told you regular season counts. Regular season counts.
Meh.
Another thing, Spo is real cutesy, and I made mention of it many a times. After Game 4, smiling, laughing, being silly in the post game. It's 3-1. We're confident. We're cool. Last night, he wasn't so confident and cool. Actually, at the very end of the press conference, he was asked what he thought about the terrible, and if you want to argue this, go home with that, the terrible shooting between Bam and Jimmy, and his response was,
I don't give a damn what they shot. We're up. We're up 1. We may win this thing, as ugly as it's ever been done. I don't care. What guys shoot. It's the competitive will that I'm talking about, and those guys are going to bring it on. It's playoffs, so I have no idea what the day is, but I guess Monday.
I don't even know what day it is, but 5 for 21 for playoff Jimmy right there.
It's nasty, bro.
But then at the end of the game, he decided, oh, wait a second. I'm not as effective. Why don't I try to get to the line? He starts getting to the line. All of a sudden, a big comeback.
He was getting calls. He started to get calls. Look, if he played like that throughout, you would win. It's a lot. This is tough, bro. This is tough because I'm not a fan, but I can understand as a sports fan. If you look at a game like this, you can understand. Your 2 best players didn't play well, but your team, all those other players, those complementary players, they played great.
They've stepped up.
They've stepped up. This was a game you were going to steal. You got to steal it. This was a game you were going to steal. And Boston was giving it to you. That's the other thing. Boston was giving it to you. I don't trust either team.
No, hell no.
I don't trust either team.
Look how both teams tried to lose last night. The only reason that he lost is there's no time on the clock left.
I can't say the Heat were trying to lose. Their 2 best players didn't play well. No, they gave the effort. It wasn't like they were just not. Come on, man, don't do that. They just think they couldn't make a basket.
Celtics were up by 10 with 4 minutes left,
and they tried to give the game away.
And then the Heat were up with 0.1 seconds left.